Hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to this video. This is going to be a little bit more on the speculative side. If you guys have questions or what have you, please express those in the comments below. But yeah, I'm going to talk about people's view of Aptera's pricing. To give a little context first, I'm going to go ahead and jump to the slide that made its rounds some time ago, and a lot of people were less than happy about a couple of things on said slide. The slide in general here is the unit economics slide for Aptera, their most recent $60 million offering to accredited investors. Essentially, they put up this slide on the unit economics for the Aptera, which gave a basic hint at the sticker price for the launch vehicles. The launch vehicle for the Aptera, which is their 400-mile variant. Their 40 kilowatt hour variant. We don't know if it's 400 miles yet, but that's what they say, and I believe them until otherwise stated. I think I'm going with what's more accurately known, which we know that their battery pack is about 42 kilowatt hours because that's what they've said, just like they said the mileage. So yeah, fun times there. Anyway, yeah, so the 40 kilowatt hour vehicle sticker price is listed here, and it is higher than what they professed it to be previously. Something like it was 33,000 or something like that, 33.5, somewhere in there. And now it is looking like it's going to be 38.9, so really close to 39,000. And that price will slowly level out over time. What made people bothered, or at least so I believe people were upset about, at least what they were saying in the forums, is that this price is different than what they promised before, and it is significantly higher. The first thing I'll say, and this is something that a lot of other YouTubers have said, is that the pricing here are estimates based on suppliers giving their varying degrees of highest price. Because Aptera is a smaller company, they don't expect to necessarily go through 1 million units a year in their first year. So the people that gave these numbers were giving them numbers that were not their bulk deals or their best pricing, because they don't expect to make that many for Aptera. So what you're seeing here is an expression of that, as well as their price per vehicle here. You can see that all of this stuff is about as high as it's ever going to get. As Aptera starts selling more units per year, which I believe they absolutely will, then this number is going to come down, which means that this number is going to come down. Over time, even this number, these numbers will come down. Their projections will come down, is what happens with economies of scale and other things that require a lot of units to be sold through in order to become profitable. So yeah, a lot of people were in a tizzy about this. There were a lot of videos, like I said, that talked about it. I'm going to kind of talk about two of those videos that kind of mention what's going on with that whole situation. Aptera Owners Club went about it from a behavioral economics standpoint, as you can see. Basically, he talked about a concept called the false consensus fallacy, which is essentially a thought process that humans tend to be inclined to, where we believe that there are more people that believe the way that we do than there actually are. The people around us, we tend to think that they think pretty much like we do, and we often find out that that is not the case. In fact, I would say that there is not a single person on the planet that believes and thinks the exact same way that you do, or that I do, or that anyone does. We all have things that make us very similar, and those things that are similar with us are more voluminous, more profound, and more robust than those things that divide us or that we disagree on. That was basically the drive of Aptera Owners Club video, and he did a very good job of bringing that around to Aptera's prices. And long story short, he said that to get a vehicle of the same build type that Aptera has, normally you'd be spending millions of dollars, not thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars in Aptera's case. Very well done, very put together video, but I mentioned that and this next video to bring up a point that I will try to flesh out in a moment. This second video is a Tailosive EV Podcast video. This video was more or less, the podcast itself talked about several different topics because, as you can see, it's over an hour and a half long, really close to 2 hours long, interestingly enough. But the first topic that they talked about for a significant amount of time, like 25 to 30 minutes, was Aptera's value. And this gentleman here, by the name of Mike, I believe, said that he would essentially have thought that he would need to pay $60,000-ish for an Aptera because of the value that he perceives based on the product that Aptera is offering. Now, I will not go on record to say anything of that nature. I don't believe that I would be able to afford $60,000, so if Aptera ended up being $60,000, that would be most unfavorable for my purchasing future of the Aptera. But what I will say is there is only one vehicle out there right now that can charge itself with the sun. There is only one vehicle that is still being pushed to production at this price that has a fully monocoque structure, a fully carbon fiber structure. I think there's Aptera Owners Club mentioned like the BMW i3 as one of those vehicles, but I don't even know if they sell that anymore. I will double check on that while I'm editing the video. Editor me, take care of that because, anyway, I'm pretty sure that they're either not selling very many or not selling them at all. So, Aptera is going to be the only kid on the block who can boast a safety cell that is carbon fiber in nature, in build, in makeup. They are also the only company that will be able to boast 10 miles per kilowatt hour. Even if they can't do 10 per kilowatt hour, even if they hit 8 or 7 miles per kilowatt hour, that will still be industry-leading efficiency. So, industry-leading efficiency, extremely interesting solar technology that gives a meaningful amount of solar to the vehicle, and a safety cell that protects the person with carbon fiber, which is a very robust technology. So it's Aptera is a value that you're not going to be able to find anywhere else for a very long time. I would imagine 5 to 7 years at very best. So the fact that people are kind of miffed about $40,000 or $39,000 as a projection on a slide that has not been confirmed yet is a little strange in my opinion, but I mean, it does make sense that they should voice their concerns about the fact that they believe that the vehicle should be fairly priced. At any rate, that was my basic takeaway from that stuff, but my personal opinion on this situation is essentially that I think people are kind of mad about the price for one reason and one reason only. Well, not one reason only, but this is the biggest reason why people are upset about that slide price that they showed. It is because they announced their pricing earlier than that, and it was lower than what they said now. I believe that is the biggest reason. People are not comfortable with promises or the veneer of promises not being kept. And I think that's the biggest reason why people are upset. If they had said, oh, this vehicle will range in price from bloom to bloom, for the launch vehicle, when they did that launch vehicle presentation, I think that might have gone over better than, oh, it's going to be this much, and then having to move the goalpost later. So I wouldn't say it was a mistake on Aptera's part, more so than this is one of the very rare situations where I believe that their transparency might have worked a little bit against them this time, but yeah, that's, in my opinion, that's neither here or there. I would still buy the Aptera even if it ended up creeping up to $55,000, $60,000 for the launch vehicle. I would not be happy about it, mind you, and I would not like that to be the eventuality. But what I do believe is actually going to be the case is that the money that they were saying that was expected for the sticker price, the $38,000, that is either going to be around the price, or the price itself is going to be a little bit lower than this, closer to that 33. The reason I believe this is because the first year or so of the Aptera's life, I believe people are going to be extremely curious about the vehicle and want the vehicle, and they have to be clued into the fact that the vehicle exists before they're like, oh, I'm going to go out and get one. So that cluing in phase is going to take about a year or 2 years maybe, and after that they are going to sell many hundreds of thousands of vehicles. I would say, well, they would have demand for many hundreds of thousands of vehicles per year. I think at the end of the day, if things go the way I'm thinking they will, which, by the way, this is my thoughts, not the thoughts or expressions of the Aptera company at all, but if it goes by what I'm thinking, they're going to be selling through 1 million Apteras a year in 5 years. Like, easily 5 years. Like, I would actually think a little bit less than 5 years, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. The game-changing technology and value proposition that Aptera brings to the table here, nobody's even close to. Nobody's even close to 10 watt hours per, 100 watt hours per mile. No one is even close to the lightness and efficiency that Aptera has. Nobody's even close to being able to charge 40 miles on the sun, potentially offsetting the need to charge entirely for your daily commute. No one is close. And so, because nobody is close, and because everybody's going to look at Aptera the same way they looked at Tesla early on and just ignore them as a concept in general, I believe that Aptera is going to have the ability, the potential to actually bring the kind of volume and numbers that Aptera is bringing, that Tesla is bringing now to their vehicle production in the future. So I'm not saying that it's definitely guaranteed. I'm not saying that this is 100%. I am saying that based on my thought processes and based on how much value I see in the Aptera, from a standpoint of somebody who wants something cheap that they don't have to fix all the time, that they don't have to go to the gas station for, that they can charge with the sun. I don't think that there's going to be a world where Aptera doesn't sell through 1 million units a year in 5 years, 5 years if not less. So maybe I'm optimistic. Probably I'm optimistic. That's kind of my resting state, even though I have been less optimistic recently. I still think that optimism is my resting state, and so maybe 5 years is too grand, too crazy, too out there for them to actually hit, but I do believe that the demand will be there for them to hit 1 million units a year in 5 years, because yeah, just I don't see how that could not be the case considering the value proposition that they hold. So yeah, that's my thought process there. Yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you've watched it all the way through, please make sure that you do the YouTube-y things, and I will catch you guys on the next video, which is something a little special that I put together that I think you'll enjoy. Yeah, it's an interview, just kind of throwing that spoiler out there. But yeah, I hope to put that video out mid to late this week. So yeah, stay tuned, stay awesome, and catch you next time.